You know the girls that you see where they just walk into any room head held high and you just think, I want to be like that. In this video I'm going to tell you exactly how you can become that girl. It's not that difficult, and it's just one secret ingredient that nobody talks about enough. It's not about having the perfect skin routine or the perfect makeup routine. It's something much more internalized, and that, my dear friends, is confidence. This is my favorite topic ever, and it is how I run my business, and I think without confidence we are screwed. I don't know. I feel like if you're really insecure, you're going to have a very miserable life, and I think if you can become confident, you can change and transform your entire reality. And that's what I want to help you do today. I've broken down this video into factual information on how you can improve your confidence and can actually change your brain into becoming more confident. It's not just a thing that people have or don't have. So I'm going to talk you through the neuroscience of it, and I'm also going to talk you through my own personal experience, laws and practices I swear by that genuinely make me feel so confident every single day. We're going to get straight into it. I asked Google for the true meaning of confidence. Confidence means feeling sure of yourself and your abilities, not in an arrogant way, but in a realistic, secure way. Confidence isn't about feeling superior to others, but rather it's a quiet inner knowledge that you're capable. Damn! The key word, there's a few keywords in there, but the main key word in there is feel. It's all about how you feel. It's not about what you do, it's about how you feel. That's so huge, because you can change how you feel with how you think. You're not a slave to your emotions unless you allow yourself to be. That doesn't come from necessarily taking action, but rather changing how you're thinking about things. And that is the same when it comes to confidence. It's an act of feeling. What is really good about that is it also shows you how easy it is to become confident, because it's so easy to change. It's not a set in stone thing, it's a feeling. Another thing is about capable, and we're going to go into this a little bit further into the video, same with the concept of it being quiet. So we're going to talk a little bit further on that as well. But start with the psychological explanation. So much research that has been done into the confidence of humans and how it forms, how you can become more confident. There's just so much we can learn from this. So I've picked out some of my favourite studies that really do align with today's video, and I'm hoping you can get something from them. One of the key parts that were just suggested in the literal definition is this idea of feeling secure in yourself, which basically means feeling as though you have control over your own life. You have power, you do matter, and you do have an impact on this world. If you go about your life believing that you don't, and you are just a victim of this, that, and the other, you're not really going to have a very good life, and you are subconsciously going to believe that you don't matter because you don't have any impact, you don't do anything special. So one of the first studies to suggest and support this is this idea of a locus of control. So your locus of control is essentially the way you perceive the world. Now there's a test you can actually do on Google. If you type in a locus of control test, you can take the test, answer the questions, and it will tell you whereabouts you sit on the spectrum. You've got internal and you've got external. Now if you sit more on the external locus of control, you believe in fate, you believe that life is out of your hands, that things just happen to you, you don't have much control over your life, and you don't really have much free will, but rather things are predetermined for you. You sit more on the internal locus of control side, you believe that your life is in your hands, you take responsibility for your behaviour, and you understand that you are the only person that can truly change your life. The more confident you are, the more likely you're going to have a high internal locus of control. You should try the test and see how's about you score. Based off of your score, you can then see what it is you need to work on. If you find that you do sit more on the external locus of control side, you then know you can work on rewiring your brain, which we're going to talk about later in the video. Cognitive behavioural science explains the 4 pillars to self-confidence come from living consciously, which is essentially living with purpose and intention and actively living, not passively being dragged along by life. Self-acceptance, self-responsibility, and self-assertiveness. Everything here comes from self, aka you. And if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, and you don't believe in yourself, and you don't like yourself, and you can't accept the way you are, you are not gonna become any more confident. It comes from building a relationship with yourself. So if you currently don't like yourself, you need to work out why that is and what you can do to change it. This is something you may have heard of. This is the concept of having a growth or fixed mindset. The more you have a growth mindset, very similar to having an internal locus of control, you think a lot more positively. You can change through learning and experience, essentially. You have the power for things to change. Whereas if you have a fixed mindset, it's a lot more rigid, and you kind of think things are just the way they are and you can't do anything about it, and you're either born with it or you're not. You want to focus on having a growth mindset. The hierarchy of needs by Maslow would suggest that confidence emerges and grows when an individual's basic physiological and safety needs are met. Maslow came up with the hierarchy of needs. You might recognize this, you might not. It's something that are introduced into a lot of workplaces. It explains how humans function and how you can reach your full potential, what the barriers are that stop you from doing so. The core foundation for anybody to improve their confidence and progress in any form of life and succeed and reach their full potential is they need to have their physiological needs met. None of these things at the bottom of this pyramid are met. You are going to have very low confidence because you're not going to feel very secure in your environment, in your surroundings, and therefore in yourself. Rogers came up with the self-concept theory, and the idea of this is there is two main versions of you that exist at the same time. You have your current version and you have your ideal version. And if your current version and your ideal version are misaligned and you do not feel as though you're working on becoming the best version of yourself and you aren't doing things that align with that, you have something called incongruence, which is a huge gap between the two. The way that you can do this is if you don't even know who this ideal version of you wants to be, you have no idea what you want, then you should sit down and you should brainstorm and come up with the most idealistic version of you possible. No bounds, no limits, just exactly who you would like to be if you could wake up tomorrow as a different person. You can then analyze everything that you've brain dumped. It's really important that when you brain dump, you try not to actually think too logically. I want you to be ambitious and just out there. So you've then brain dumped, you can sit and have a look at what things you can start working on already. So I used the example in my last video of skincare. Let's say the ideal version of you has clear glass skin, and the current version of you is really insecure about her skin and she's breaking out a lot. And you could then sit and think, okay, well, what can I do to improve my skin? Maybe it's that you need to have a skincare routine. Maybe it's that the products you're using aren't working and you need to do some research, find some new products and try them out. Maybe it comes more from your diet and you're not drinking enough water. Maybe you want to book an appointment to go and see a dermatologist and see what they have to say about your skin texture and you're actually using the wrong products. There's always going to be something you can do. So then you can take an actionable step and you can work on becoming the person that has the clearer skin, aka your ideal self, which is going to lessen the incongruence and start to improve your confidence. Last psychological explanation I'm going to use for today is the idea of vicarious experiences. And this is so important, and I think something that's not actually spoken about enough. And this is the concept that the people you surround yourself with, the environment you're in, if you're hanging around with people that are dumber than you, more insecure than you, and you don't want to be anything like, you are not going to change and you're going to become more like them. I'm such a firm believer that who you hang around with is ultimately who you become. So it is really important that you are picky with who you're sharing your energy and your time with. You always want to be surrounding yourself with at least one person who's better than you in some way, whether that's they have more experience in something you're interested in, they have more confidence than you, and those habits will rub off on you. I did that when I started the gym, for example. None of my friends went to the gym. I wanted to become a gym girl, so I started going to the gym more on my own, and surprise, surprise, I then was surrounded by other people who were constantly in the gym. I made friends with people who regularly went to the gym, and it then became more of a lifestyle habit for me because it was a norm for them. And when it's then a norm for them, it becomes a norm for me because we'd consist of going to the gym together and then going out for food, and it would just be normal. Also, you are assuming from people that you'd want to be like as well, and that's a really big thing. Maybe you want to be a millionaire, so you start looking up millionaire success stories, you listen to their motivational speeches, you listen to where they came from, and it makes you think that it's not actually as far out of your reach as you realise. And it psychologically will make you believe that you can also achieve similar feats to these people that you look up to, and they're not actually that different to you. Moving on, we're going to go on to more of the biological approach. This is key because this is about your neurology, this is about your brain and how the brains differ based on people who have more confidence than others. Confidence is associated with well-developed neural pathways, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, which is basically like the driving seat of the brain. It's where decisions are made. You also have well-developed amygdalas, which is your emotional center, so they're more emotionally regulated people. Confident individuals also have stronger connections between thoughts and actions, so they don't just say they're going to do something, they do it. So what's really, really interesting here is confidence can be built. Neurologically, you can wire yourself to be confident. It's so possible for you to change the way you think. I've done it. I know enough girls who've done it. You can also do it. I found that within the brain, people who are more confident have increased levels of dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine is linked to high motivation, reinforcement, this feeling of, I've got this, I can do this. Serotonin promotes a sense of calm assurance, which helps with clear judgment, decision making, and is essential for self-esteem, so believing in yourself. When dopamine and serotonin are both boosted together, strengthen your inner belief and they boost your confidence. Exercise, stress management, adequate sleep, spending time with the right people help boost serotonin and dopamine. Another thing you can do to rewire your brain to become more confident is positive self-talk. There'll be a lot of talk on affirmations, which I'm sure you've probably heard of. If you haven't, it's basically repeating the same thought again and again and again until it's automatic. There are other ways you can do this, just giving yourself more grace and compassion, understanding that you're human, you're going to make mistakes and you can fail and try again, and the most successful people have failed again and again and again, but they've just never given up, and you should adopt the same mindset. Another really cool hack and this is something that I tell my clients to do, especially when they're nervous or they're about to go into a meeting, is something called a power pose. And power posing is essentially you're standing with your hands on your hips. There was a really good TED talk I watched on it. It talks about how this tricks the brain into believing that you're more confident than you are based on your body language. There's a really cool study. In 2016, participants held high power poses for 2 minutes before a mock interview. The participants that did the 2-minute power pose, so a control group who did not do the power posing for 2 minutes and also went into the mock interview, they were then judged on how likely they would be hired and on their performance. Those who did the 2 minutes of power posing before were ranked significantly higher in hireability and performance to those that did not power pose, which shows you the impact it has on your brain, on your behaviour, and even outwardly it's shown. Other people can even see it. Going into other cool hacks and ways that you can improve your confidence, I'm going to talk a little bit about spiritually and energetically. This is something I live by. These are laws that I bring into my daily life. You can visualize confidence and therefore manifest it. So the more you can picture yourself in your brain, using all of your senses, visualizing it like it's a literal experience of you being in a situation and feeling confident. Whether that's you walking into a room and your head's held high, your shoulders are back, you're not caring what people are thinking, you doing a presentation and not stuttering. If you visualize the same experience happening again and again, your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality, so you'll trick your brain into thinking that it's actually happened. And if you do it enough times, your brain starts to believe that you're doing it, and you'll therefore start to believe you're more capable, even if you've never done it before. It's crazy. There are so many studies on visualization and how they work. So visualize what you want to happen, and then it will manifest. You will start to believe you're more capable. You will actually go into the presentation as if it's practice. The thing that I do is faking it till I make it. That's something I've done for a really long time. Even if I haven't felt the most confident, I have pretended to be. Another really interesting thing is the concept of heart-brain coherence. The heart is the center of your feelings and your brain is the center of your thoughts. And when your thoughts and your feelings are aligned, you feel more in tune with your body, you feel calmer, you feel more in control. When you feel safe, you feel more confident. Another huge thing that helped me personally was removing negative environments. So any people that I didn't feel good around, or I might have felt insecure or judged by, people that just didn't make me feel good about myself, any sort of toxic influences I would remove. If you have anybody in your life who you genuinely feel like does not have your best interest and does not support you, I highly recommend getting out those scissors and snip. I can hand on heart say that all of my closest people I wouldn't trade for the world. I love them so much. I feel as though they genuinely care for me and respect me and appreciate me. I feel as though everybody should be able to experience that, but if you're clinging on to people that aren't good for you, you're going to stand in your own way. Also stands with social media as well, so not even just physically people, but also who are you following? Who are you watching? Who are you consuming? Following loads of really pretty Instagram models that you feel like you look nothing like and make you feel ugly, just remove them. Yeah, it's not just the people you have in your life, but it's what you're consuming, it's what you're watching, it's what you're reading. It's a really good book called The 7 Laws of Spiritual Success, and there's 2 main laws that I feel have really helped me improve my confidence. One of them is this idea of the law of giving and receiving. So the more you give, the more you will expect to receive in return. You're not doing it for that reason. That's not your motive. You are doing it because you feel as though you are a good person. But the idea is that it will come back to you. So if you give love, you will get love. If you do a good deed, you will receive a good deed back. Shouldn't expect it, but I think everything comes down to how much you believe you deserve something. It's not about how hard you work, who you know, how skilled you are. It's how deserving you think you are. Because if you don't genuinely believe you deserve it, you're going to deprive yourself of what you actually want. There's doing a good deed every day that makes you feel like you're a good person. It'll make you feel like you are more deserving of the good in life, at least for me. Second of the 2 laws that I said that really helped me improve my confidence is the law of Dharma, essentially the law of purpose and living with intention. Feeling like you have a purpose. You get up in the morning and you're like, yes, having something to work on and work towards. It might not be your job for you, it might be a hobby, something else, but whatever it is, this idea of getting up and wanting to do a good job of something, I feel as though really improves your confidence, because you feel like you have a use, you feel like you have a purpose. If you feel a little bit lost right now, my advice to you is to have a think about some things that excite you. What excites you? What would you like to do? There may be an online course, it may be a networking where you can then meet some people who already do what you want to be doing. For me, the gym has been a huge thing. You know, when you work out, you release these things called BDNFs. They improve your mood. And the better my mood is, the better I feel about myself. Exercise is something that really helps me. It also does change your body, so I feel good about how I look. This is probably one of the biggest things I will say in the entire video. Understanding the difference between confidence and insecurity, and this is me going back to what I said at the start of the video when I was talking about confidence being quiet. And this has taken me a really long time to learn. 99% of the time, the most confident people are not the people, eyeballs are all on them, everything's about them, they don't stop talking, really, really loud and in your face. They aren't actually usually the most confident people. They are usually the most egotistical people, and they're looking for validation. Insecure people want validation from anybody and everybody. They want compliments thrown at them. They want people to like them, to feel worthy. Why? Because them liking themselves or not liking themselves is not enough. Their own internal opinion is not good enough for them. It doesn't hold enough weight. So they need to look externally. They don't really like themselves. So they're hoping that if other people like them, it makes up for them not liking themselves. But it doesn't. Confidence is not feeling like you have to justify yourself to everybody all the time or prove anything to anybody. It's allowing people to make accusations about you and not really care, because you know deep down the truth. You know, somebody can call me stupid and I would probably just be like, okay, why? I don't feel the need to tell them that I'm not stupid, because that would make me stupid. So it's just me knowing that I'm not stupid is enough of a reason. We are gonna leave it there. That is absolutely everything that you need to know to become the most confident girl in the room. I really hope you took some value from it and you can start to implement some of those things immediately. As always, I love you all so much and I am so grateful for the support. Like, subscribe, comment, join the community of women determined to make this year their best and keep it that way for good. I love you all so much and I will see you in the next video.